Hello my beautiful and makeup loving friends. If this is your first time to my channel, thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Emily and today I have a very special dupes video for you guys. I am going to show you some similar shades in my collection to the brand spanking new Too Faced Gingerbread Spice palette. Let's go ahead and jump right on into these guys. So as per usual, just gotta give a little disclaimer here for the Poindexters in the back. These are not gonna be exact dupes. I don't have the palette, so I don't know what it looks like. These are just the most similar shades in my collection. And as you can see here, I did not dupe out the entire palette. I just wanted to dupe out the colorful shades from the palette because I feel like everyone's eye was initially drawn to that gorgeous hot pink and some of those purple shades and that orange. So I just wanted to take the more unique colors out of the palette and put together a little 6-pan palette here. So these are not exact dupes. I don't have the palette, but this is as close as I could get to the color scheme from what I already had sitting around in my collection. So the Too Faced Gingerbread Spice palette is available right now and it is $49, but it is limited edition, so it's not gonna be around forever. So I wanted to provide you guys with some possible dupes and some similar shades that I already had in my collection. This way, if you've been looking at the palette and you just want, say, the hot pink and the orange, then you can just go out and purchase 2 little single shadows and save a lot of money. Or if you're watching this in the future and you want the gingerbread spice palette but it's gone for good, although as we all know here in the beauty community, nothing limited edition ever stays limited edition. But just in case for some reason this time the limited edition palette actually does end up staying limited edition, then you have some options. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right on into the colors that I picked out. So I don't know about you guys, but when I first saw the gingerbread spice palette, I immediately was drawn to that beautiful hot pink color. As per usual, hot pink is my absolute favorite color and I always wear it on my eyes, as I am today, no shocker here. But I automatically thought of my Pressed Pigment by Makeup Geek in the shade Unleash. As you can see, it is the first pan up here and it's the only one that's different out of the bunch. I really wish that it was a circular pan because it's just driving me freaking bonkers right now looking at this one square out of 5 circles. But as you can see, this is a beautiful hot magenta pink, but it's not super neon like I'm personally wearing today. It's a bit more understated and a bit more muted and a bit more rosy toned, if you will. So to me, this looked like the shade Gumdrop in the palette, which of course is that beautiful pink. Now, in my opinion, it didn't look like a super neon vibrant pink. It looked to be a little bit more muted, a little bit more understated, and I feel like this Makeup Geek shade is just right on the dot as far as dupes go here. So the second shade that was drawing my attention in from the Gingerbread Spice palette is this shade Spice is Nice, and that's that beautiful matte orange that we see in the palette. And I knew that I had something like this in my collection that was very similar, and that is Davina's Sura. As you can see here, it's more so of a corally orange toned matte, but it has a bit of a terracotta undertone to it, and to me this looks almost identical to what we see in the palette. It didn't look like it was a super yellow toned orange. It looked like it had a bit more of a pink base, maybe a coral base. So I automatically thought of Sura, and to me, these look almost spot on. So the next shade that I thought was unique out of the Gingerbread Spice palette was the shade Lookie at My Cookie. I don't really know what you're trying to say there, Too Faced. I don't really know if I like it or not. But the shade of Lookie at My Cookie, can't even say that without feeling weird, was a beautiful pinky mauve matte, and I automatically thought of Makeup Geek's Cupcake. Now, I've had this shadow for ever, and I'm pretty sure it's not even good anymore, but I just wanted to include it because as you can see by the pan here and by the swatches, the tone of this specific shade is a beautiful mauve, but it has a lot of this kind of dusty rose undertone to it, and it looked very similar to me to what was in the palette. Now, I am a sucker for baby pink pastel mattes, so when I saw the shade Sugar Daddy, I knew that I had to dupe it out because I have a bunch of baby pink mattes in my collection. So I decided to pick out Makeup Geek's Sorbet. Now, I know that I picked a lot of Makeup Geek for this, and honestly, I don't really use Makeup Geek that much anymore, but I have a bunch of their shadows that I kind of forgot about, and I found a couple nights ago when I was organizing things, so I moved them to the front because I'm trying to give them just a little bit more love. But as you can see, this is a beautiful pastel baby pink matte. This is gorgeous all through the crease to start out your look with. It's beautiful as a transition shade. It's beautiful on the lid. I absolutely love this shade. It's gorgeous with any pink toned, orange toned, or purple toned look. The next shade that I knew I wanted to dupe out and include in the palette here is the shade Figgy Pudding from the Gingerbread Spice palette. It looked to be a beautiful kind of magenta toned plum, and it automatically reminded me of a colored Raine shadow that I have, the shade Ladyship, which is a very popular shade. It is from the Queen of Hearts palette, but they do sell it in a single form, and good lord, is this shade absolutely amazing or what? This is one of the best purple mattes that you can get on the market, and I absolutely love the pink undertone to it. It's absolutely beautiful. And finally, the last shade that really caught my attention and intrigued me and made me want to dupe it out was the shade Hot Toddy, which in my opinion looked to be more so of a pink toned burgundy red metallic. It didn't look super rusty or super orange toned. It looked a bit more magenta and pink toned, which is something that I've kind of noticed about the swatches on basically all of these shades. A lot of the shades that are a different color other than pink seem to have a bit more of a pink undertone than we typically see. At least in my opinion they do. I might be totally biased here because you guys know I love pink, but in my opinion they look a little bit more pink toned. Or that could just be my mind playing tricks on me, but we don't need to talk about that. The shade that I immediately thought of when I saw the shade Hot Toddy from the Gingerbread Spice palette is the shade One Night Stand from Looxi Beauty, which of course is this beautiful burgundy right down here. It's super metallic. It's one of their liquid metal shades, so obviously it's going to be very metallic, and it's really reflective and beautiful on the eyes. Now this shade in particular is just a smidge more rusty toned than what I thought I saw in the palette, but you're not really going to be able to tell on the eyes, especially if you're pairing this shade with some of the pinks that we have in here. You're not really going to be able to tell, so to me they are almost identical dupes. But those are all of the shades that I wanted to pick out for you guys and show you and dupe out for myself. This way I don't have to go out and purchase that palette, because obviously I've put together something very similar right here. Now I chose to leave out some of the browns and some of the more neutral tones just because we all have browns and neutrals in our collection, and I do understand it's the gingerbread palette. Gingerbread men are brown, but I just really wanted to spotlight the beautiful colorful shades that Too Faced put in this palette. I feel like those colorful shades are what really drew people in. You know what I mean? But let me know down in the comments below, are you picking up the gingerbread palette? Have you already picked it up? Are you skipping over it? Because I'm going to be skipping over it because I put this palette together, but if I didn't already own these shades, I would probably go out and purchase it. But with that being said, I do hope that you consider subscribing if you have not already. I am doing all sorts of makeup goodness happening here on this channel, so I would absolutely love it if you hit that subscribe button down below if you did enjoy this video. I do also hope that you consider giving this video a big ol' thumbs up and hitting that notification bell, because as I've said a million times, YouTube loves to hide small, little, teeny tiny microscopic YouTubers under blankets and throw them in the corner and lock them away in the closet. Why? I don't know. Take it up with YouTube. But until then, I'll have to just keep reminding people to hit the notification bell. Okay, mini rant over there, but I really hope that you found this video helpful, and I really hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you are having an absolutely amazing day wherever you are, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!